It's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be some spooky recommendations. I had a request that I should do a spooky recommendations middle grade video, and I have done them before. I did it last year, and I had so many, and these are ones that I have read, that it was a 4-part video. So I'll link below all 4 videos so I don't have to make 6 videos this year. And so I tried to see when I posted that video and do books that I've read since then to put in this video. So hopefully that'll help. Below will be the videos of spooky recommendations of middle grade books that I have read that I posted last year. And then today will be, since then, ones I've read. And some of them are sequels to ones that were in that video, but I went ahead and I'm going to put them in this one since I've read more of them. Also, I forgot to mention in the videos I did last year, I think it was in part of the 4-part video, there was spooky recommendations and ones that didn't really fall under spooky, but they gave me the fall vibes. So for whatever reason, they just gave me the fall vibes and cozy vibes. So I think there was some of those in there too if you didn't necessarily just want spooky. And also I'm going to do a separate video for some recommendations for some other books. But I'm going to include the spooky recommendations video, the witchy books I have, because there's not as many, because I'm trying to keep it spooky. So I have more witch books, but they're not what I would call spooky that I've read, so I didn't want to put those in witchy spooky video too. So I'm just going to include the spooky witchy ones. First I'll start with some that are more fun spooky, so like aren't really scary in any way, like younger, I guess, middle grade. Malice and Underland by Jenni Jennings. Pretty sure there's a 3rd book coming. Read the first 2. Full of illustrations, and they're just so gothic and creepy and funny. And the 2nd book is A Trick of Time. The malign family don't just make mischief for fun. Oh no, mischief is their business, and the business of mischief is a very serious matter. And as Underland representatives, it is their responsibility to maintain respectable levels of gruesome amongst us topsiders. But when Granddad ghosts mysteriously start disappearing, including her own beloved Granddad, Malice has no choice but to put aside her mischief and solve the case. So amazing names in here, like Uncle Vexation, and her parents just wish she was so much more horrible than she is, because she's more like the topsiders, us normal people, and likes to be nice, and they just are so disappointed by it. It's just hilarious. And then the Beast and the Bethany, and I think the 3rd book comes out very soon, by Jack Meggitt-Phillips. And they both come with sprayed edges that were a happy surprise. These are also heavily illustrated, bigger font, full of so much humor, dark humor. While these are still funny and not really spooky, some of the stuff's a little gross at times, I guess, but I think it's hilarious. And I love the illustrations. And the 2nd one, The Beast and the Bethany, Revenge of the Beast. I remember not liking this one as much as this one, as the first one, but the way the 3rd one was set up and the way the direction it's going, I think I'm gonna like that one just as much as the first one again. Like, I still love this one, but I didn't like it as much as the first one. I want you to bring me another meal, and I know exactly what I want to eat. Ebenezer Tweezer is another one with awesome names. Is a youthful 511-year-old who keeps a beast in the attic. He feeds the beast all manner of things, and in return the beast vomits out irresistible gifts for Ebenezer. But the beast grows ever greedier, and it's bored with a diet of dusty statues and performing monkeys. It's time for a new meal, a child-sized meal. Turn the pages carefully, this book bites. And then the Theodora Hendrix series by Jordon Kopy. Theodora Hendrix and the Monstrous League of Monsters is the first one. I absolutely love these. Another one with a bigger font, highly illustrated. And Theodora Hendrix and the Curious Case of the Cursed Beetle. I think the 3rd one will be out before not too much longer. I cannot wait. I love these so much. Monstrous League of Monsters Charter. 1. Keep monsters hidden from humans. 2. Protect humans from bad monsters. 3. Help bad monsters become good monsters. Orphaned and raised by an unconventional family, Theodora knows the importance of these rules more than most, and so far it's not been too hard to keep her monstrous home life a secret until now. Someone is about to reveal everything, and it's up to Theodora to save her family fast. Her family is so amazing. It's like the Munsters, Addams Family vibes and humor, and it's just in this castle she lives in, or mansion, whatever it is. It's just, ugh. and her little friend that she makes at school. He's so adorable. And her spider. I just love these. So the cute spooky. And then this trilogy, the Zombie Problems trilogy by K.G. Campbell. This is humor and kooky and not like as younger, like fun, like I don't know how to explain it, but these are still so much fun and humor. And the author's also the illustrator. I bought the first book and then he ended up sending me the second and third as well when it came out. I was so happy. But the first book, A Small Zombie Problem. And the Zombie Stone. And the third book, August of the Zombies. He writes amazing stories and he just has the most beautiful illustrations. Double talent just always amazes me. Any talent amazes me, but then you do double, I'm like, I want some of this talent. I want to draw. Meet the boy with an unusual problem. Auguste Dupont is mostly an average boy. A little lonely perhaps, but if you spent your entire life holed up in a neglected house with a reclusive aunt as your sole companion, you might be lonely too. Now imagine Auguste's surprise when an unexpected invitation brings him face to face with a relative he didn't even know existed. Imagine this relative introduces him to two other children and offers to change Auguste's world forever by sending him to school. Friends and school? It's a dream come true, but August has scarcely begun to celebrate his reversal of fortune when he is confronted by a small problem. A small and unfortunately very dead problem. Her, and I love her. So those are just amazing. Next two are gonna be, I wouldn't say they're really spooky, but they're just the vibes. So Maggie Blue in the Dark World by Anna Goodall. I cannot wait for the sequel. This is just all the fall, this other world, and it is kind of spooky and creepy, but not in the normal like type Halloween way. But I just love this book, and this cat is just the best. Maggie Blue has always been happy to stay under the radar. The only people who seem to notice her are her eccentric Aunt Esme and the beautiful Ida, a fellow pupil who takes great pleasure in being mean to Maggie. Only Miss Kane, the new guidance counselor at school, shows her any kindness. But then Ida disappears. Despite an extensive hunt, no one seems to know what might have happened to her. No one except for Maggie. With Hoagie, a sarcastic talking cat, for company, Maggie finds herself entering a world very different to her own. A world where happiness is a commodity. A world that Maggie is connected to in a way she never believed was possible. Love this. And Francis and the Monster by Refe Tuma. This is like a reimagining of like a Frankenstein, so that's why it gives me this vibe. And I just love this story. I cannot wait. I'm so happy that when I heard there was gonna be a sequel, because I just love this world, this character so much, and his writing. Frances Stenzel is an aspiring scientist, and one day she'll be a world-famous inventor like her parents. They'd only let her leave their isolated manor and join them at their scientific symposiums. When Frances is left home yet again with only an infuriatingly clever robot named Hobbs for company, she enters her parents' off-limits laboratory, determined to claim her freedom and prove her scientific worth. Instead, she accidentally reawakens her great-grandfather's secret and most terrible invention, an enormous monster who breaks out of the manor and disappears into the town below. With her pet chimp Fritz and a reluctant Hobbs by her side, Frances sets off to find the monster, facing a persistent constable, angry locals, and an unexpected friendship along the way. But with the trail going cold and the monster nowhere in sight, Frances is running out of time before her science career and the town itself are doomed forever. I just love this. Frances is such a great character, and Hobbs, oh, I love him. The friend she makes, I loved him. Her chimp, pet chimp, and then the twist at the end, whew, so good. And these next few were in very, very recent reads videos, so I'm not gonna read synopsis and not talk too much about them. The Griffins of Castle Cary by Heather Shumaker. I love this book. It is a phenomenal ghost story, so atmospheric, amazing sibling story. Ghosts in here. Ugh, this manor that they're staying out, it's like cottage and cozy in the English countryside, and the castle and the towers, and it's creepy, and there's a doll and the dog. Oh, the dog, he's so amazing. I love him. I just read this recently. I love this so much. I need more middle grade from her. And then Agatha Anxious and the Deer Island Ghost by R.J. McDowell, book 1 of the Dead Fellow 5. Recently read this one. Another amazing ghost story that's actually very creepy, especially one part at this parlor place. That's all I'll say. In particular with the person there. Cannot wait to see what happens next. I really can't wait for that sequel. And The Whispering Fog by Landra Jennings. The author had sent me an arc early on, and I loved it. And then HarperCollins sent me this beautiful finished copy, and I was so happy. Oh, also, Crumblebee Books had sent me this. And besides the two zombie books I told you were sent to me, all the other ones I bought myself. So I was so happy when they sent me a beautiful finished copy because I love this book. It is so like a twisty retelling of Snow White and Rose Red, sister relationship, creepy, atmospheric, just phenomenal writing. Loved it. And then Tundra Books has sent me Ghostlight by Kenneth Opel. This was phenomenal. I want to read all of his books that I have now. Like, his storytelling is phenomenal, and this is such an epic type of ghost story. Like, everything put into this alternate world of this alternate Canada, and the facts that he wove in from true history of Canada. I learned so much because I looked up everything, and then it made me want to look up more. So this was just so good. The second book comes out, by the time this video goes up, the second book will be out too. But I had bought the first book when it came out, the Sinister Summer series, book 1, Wretched Water Park by Kirsten White. These are so beautiful. And then Random House Kids sent me the second book, Vampiric Vacation. And like I said, this will be out too by the time this goes up. And the third book comes out in a few months, and I think she released a cover for a book 4 too, so I'm so excited. But this is just a gothic good time, like Addams Family old in a water park vibes, and just the names of everything, and it's just so unusual and weird, and I just loved it. Love both of them. I'm not really talking about this one too much either because I just finished it, but I haven't done a recent reads video for it yet. But I have put my review up on Goodreads and on my Instagram. So I have read the synopsis in my September TBR, I believe. So I'm not gonna do it again. But the Curiosity House series by Lauren Oliver and H.C. Chester. This is The Shrunken Head. I just finished the second book, The Screaming Staircase. It was so good. So I'm on the third book now, but these are just so good. So atmospheric, so creepy, gothic-like, historical New York, and like that freak show vibe. But instead of at a circus, it's this huge house which is called the museum, but they live in it too, and all the different acts and these kids and their backstory. Ugh, loved it. And The Gatekeepers by Taylor Borchman. Keep forgetting to say, but the author sent me this one, so thank you so much. I loved it, and I'm so grateful. And I talked about this fairly recently, so I won't read synopsis. I'll try to make it quicker when I can. And A Halloween Nightmare in the Heart of New Orleans. And I always say that for some reason this makes me think if like the ghost in Beetlejuice had adopted Lydia and another kid, because there's another adopted kid in here. But this was phenomenal. I need that sequel. I flew through this. It's short. I just wish it was longer because I just wanted more. But I love this, and it's so atmospheric, perfect for Halloween. And Halloween in New Orleans, like, come on. I read not too long ago The Vexatious Haunting of Lily Griffin by Paula Hayes. I got to say that Fremantle Press sent me this book, so thank you so much. I loved it so much, so I'm so grateful. This is basically a bind-up of 3 Lily stories, but where one story ends, the next one picks up directly after that, and just a new mystery tie-in to this whole thing starts. And I just love this. I flew through this, and like it's 3 stories in one basically, but so atmospheric. The ghost parts, everything, the tie-in with the family, Lily, and the way she has with words. It's just so phenomenal. There's illustrations. I just love this. I don't know if there'll be more adventures and mysteries with Lily in the future, but I hope so. And then The House on Hoarder Hill by Mickey Lish and Kelly Guy. And this one was in my last video, but I've since read the sequel, and the third one will be out soon, I think. I think there's going to be a TV show, from what I remember when it first came out, but I don't know if they're still doing that or not. If they're still going to do that or not. When Hetty and Spencer start seeing cryptic messages appear around their grandfather's spooky house on Hoarder Hill, their holiday takes a sinister turn. What is their magician grandfather up to? What is he not telling them about the disappearance of their grandmother? With the help of a talking stag's head and also talking bear rug, who I love, and other peculiar spirits, the children set off to discover the truth. So atmospheric. Their grandfather's house, everything they discover, their relationship, like a brother-sister, and then everything that happens. I just can't wait to see what happens next in that third book. Ollie Oxley and the Ghost, The Search for Lost Gold by Lisa Schmid. 12-year-old Ollie Oxley is moving again. His mom is starting another new job, this time at the Bingham Theater in Granite City, California. Moving all the time means Ollie has struggled in the making friends department, but he quickly connects with a boy named Teddy. To Ollie's surprise, though, his first friend in town is a little more unique than most he's made in the past. Teddy is a ghost. Befriending someone who lived during the famous California gold rush sure does make things interesting for Ollie. But when the school bully, Aubrey, targets Ollie, and it looks Like the Bingham Theater might close. The stakes couldn't be higher. Can Teddy and Ollie work together to take down Aubrey, save his mom's job, and solve a mystery years in the making? It was like a mystery, a ghost story, a treasure hunt, like so many things in here, and I absolutely loved it. And The Grave Thief by Dieckmann, and the author sent me a copy. Thank you so much. I love this. It's beautiful. Spade is a grave thief. With his father and brother, he digs up the recently deceased and steals jewels, the main form of trade in Windtown. Digging graves works for Spade. Alone in the graveyard at night, no one notices his limp or calls him names. He's headed for a lifetime of theft when his father comes up with the audacious plan to rob a grave in the Windtown Castle Cemetery. But everything changes when Spade and his brother get caught in a royal trap. In exchange for their freedom, Spade must find the master of the Wogan, a deadly creature that is stalking the castle by night. As Spade embarks on this treacherous quest, he meets Ember, the queen's niece, and together they race to solve the mystery of the legendary Deepstones. What is their connection to the Wogan, the queen, a missing king, and the mysterious pebble Spade finds in the Windhouse Cemetery? Spade and Ember must find out before it's too late. Spade and Ember are amazing characters. The twists and turns and the revelations are phenomenal throughout here. The danger and his crow, just loved. And Behind the Bookcase by Mark Steensland. And by the time this goes up, there will be a giveaway going on my channel. I don't think I clarified, but the giveaway is on my Instagram. So if you want to enter that and you're in the US, you can go to my Instagram. Links for my Instagrams below. Just Belle's Middle Grade. Contact me, and it's for US only. The winners, I'll send him the winner's info, and then he'll get it sent out to them. He's giving away like 1 hardback, 4 paperbacks, and even like some Kindle. I love this book. It's full of illustrations, and it's just so spooky. Spending the summer at her grandmother's house is the last thing Sarah wants to do, especially now that Grandma Winnie has died. But she has no choice. Her parents have to fix the place up before they can sell it, and Sarah and her brother Billy have to help. But the tedious work turns into a thrilling mystery when Sarah discovers an unfinished letter her grandmother wrote. Strange things are happening behind the bookcase. Sarah's mother dismisses the letter as one of Grandma Winnie's crazy stories, but Sarah does some investigating and makes a remarkable discovery. Behind the bookcase is a doorway into Scotopia, the land where shadows come from. With a talking cat named Baldsahat as her guide, Sarah begins an unforgettable adventure into a world filled with countless dangers. Who can she trust, and can she face her fears not only in Scotopia, but also back at Grandma Winnie's house, where more secrets and strange going-ons await her? Such a great story. The Smashed Man of Dread Inn by J.W. Walker. I have his newest release I want to read too, The Black Slide, I think it's called. This was so creepy. I'm sure that one will be too. No, Wiley's not like other kids. She couldn't be more excited to move. The new house has a yard that looks just big enough for a dog. Now her dad will have no excuse not to let her adopt one. Plus, after the slumber party sleepwalking incident of last year, she's ready to make some new friends. But No didn't expect these sullen, strange girls on her new street. They seem to want nothing to do with No, but they do have one warning for her: to stay out of the basement no matter what. No's not going to let these girls boss her around. She'll go into her own basement whenever she wants. So she does. And there he is. And now there's no going back. Yeah, this monster comes out of the wall kind of thing. So, very creepy. Mirrorwood by Deva Fagan. Really enjoyed all of this author's books I've read so far. And I think she had sent me an ARC of this one, if I'm not mistaken. And I loved it, and then I got a beautiful finished copy. And it's a more magical story in these woods, but it is kind of creepy, and so that's why I'm including it in this one. Appearances are always deceiving. Fable has been cursed by a twisted magic that villagers call the Blight, which forces her to steal and wear the faces of others, or risk oblivion. To find her true self, she'll have to enter the treacherous Mirrorwood and free it from the demon prince who has ruled it for centuries. Thankfully, she has her faithful and opinionated feline companion Moth by her side. Pursued by Vicarax, a fierce apprentice blight hunter who is determined to destroy her, Fable plunges through the thorny forest into a world that is trapped in time and rife with peril. There she encounters a boisterously chatty skull, a library full of flying books, and a beast so powerful it tears at the fabric of reality, leaving nothingness in its wake. Fable will soon discover that in the Mirrorwood, nothing is quite like the story says. Everything about the Mirrorwood, this monster, her cat moth, the blight hunters, the blight itself, and just every detail was so atmospheric, dark, suspenseful, gripping. I just really enjoyed this. And the author had sent me this, Friends to the End by C.L. Collier. I really enjoyed it. It's a very quick read. 12-year-old Zach is convinced he'll never be happy without his best friend Jeremy by his side. But both of their lives changed with a bang 5 months ago, and as far as Zach's concerned, it's his fault Jeremy will never see his 12th birthday. When Zach moves with his family to a Chicago suburb, he quickly becomes friends with a group of thrill-seeking kids trying to find a disappearing haunted house. But Zach's not worried. He doesn't believe in ghosts, so he follows them into a wild, dangerous encounter that becomes a battle to decide what's real and what's not. This was spooky, creepy, had some amazing messages in here, and some great themes, and I just want more. Hide and Seek by Nate Cernosek. And I forgot this in the last video because I had it with my art, because I still haven't got a finished copy, and I want one because I love this book. The author sent it to me, and this book is very creepy. Another book that makes me never want to play hide and seek. It is coming, whether you are ready or not. After Holly and Hector Thorne are left behind during a simple game of hide and seek, they find themselves transported to the Hidden Seek, a cursed world seemingly trapped in time. There, it, a shape-shifting witch, stalks children day and night, turning any she can find her hands on into statues, frozen in their final moments of terror. Together with the other lost children they encounter, Holly and Hector have to unravel the mysterious origins of the Hidden Seek and find a way to put a stop to the curse once and for all before they get stuck there forever. Because in this twisted game of hide and seek, they are playing for their lives. And then Long Lost by Jacqueline West was incredible. It's like a book within a book story, like you're reading the main story, and then she finds this book and you're reading parts of it with her. Fiona Crane has just said goodbye to her home and friends and everything she knows, all because of her older sister Arden. To be closer to Arden's figure skating club, the family has moved to Lost Lake, a tiny, unwelcoming town of old houses, old forests, and old secrets. The only bright spot is Lost Lake's library, a rambling mansion that was once home to a wealthy local family. That's where Fiona finds the book. The book with the soft green leather cover and the gilded title and the drawings of a forest with reaching hands and staring eyes. The book about another pair of sisters who lived long ago in a town eerily like Lost Lake. The book that doesn't exist, at least not if you ask anyone about it. But Fiona knows the book is real, and it's leading her towards something that was lost long ago, something that has been waiting to be found. Maybe it's been waiting just for her. So creepy and atmospheric. There's this town and the surrounding area, and just where she walks around to in the woods, and the house, and this library, and this book, and everything that's revealed. It's just, and the sister thing at the core. It's the real sister, like the sister story of the past, and the current sister. Oh, it's just a really good book. And The Dollhouse, A Ghost Story by Cherise Cotter. I love this. Dolls are creepy. Alice's world is falling apart. Her parents are getting a divorce, and her mother has abruptly canceled their vacation plans. Instead of spending 2 weeks at a cottage with her family, followed by a lazy summer in the city with her friends, Alex is heading to a small town with her mother, who has taken a job as a live-in nurse to a rich elderly lady. The house is huge, imposing, and spooky, and everything inside is meticulously kept. Not a fun place to spend the summer. Things start to get weird when Alice finds a dollhouse in the attic that is an exact replica of the house. They get even weirder when she wakes up to find a girl asleep next to her in her bed, a girl who looks a lot like one of the dolls from the dollhouse. When the dollhouse starts to change when Alex isn't looking, she knows that she has to solve the mystery. Who are the girls in the dollhouse? What happened to them? And what is their connection to the mean and mysterious woman who owns the house? So creepy. Great characters. And everything we learn about the past, the dollhouse. I just love this. This was so good. Another one I have to buy a finished copy of. I think I had won this in a giveaway. It's an ARC, A Monsters in the Mist by Juliana Brandt. I've read 2 of her books now and really love them. After Glennon McHugh's father takes an overseas position, Glennon finds himself relocated from Minneapolis to his uncle's lighthouse on Isle Filippo, smack dab in the middle of Lake Superior. Surrounded by nothing but black, ominous waters, there are many stories about the island, but the worst one is that sailors wash ashore and are never seen again. Just before his family is supposed to move home, a storm racks the isle and ships crash outside the lighthouse. The survivors seem off, especially one sailor who acts more like a monster than a person. Suddenly, Glennon finds himself in the middle of a real-life scary story, and unless he can figure out the mystery of the island, he and his family will be lost forever. My review is very detailed about it, but it's more upper middle grade. Not only is it creepy ghost story and this island setting, like it's just so atmospheric, everything about it, and the writing's so great, but it weaves in these important messages so well, like abuse, like whether it's physical or verbal, and fear, living in fear, and just everything this book did for me. It has some very hard-hitting topics in it, but I wish I had a book like this when I was a kid, so highly recommend. And then Ghost Cloud by Michael Mann. I think the sequel comes out in February, and the cover is beautiful. He released it not long ago. Pages, and naked. Kidnapped and forced to shovel coal underneath a half-bombed, blackened power station, 12-year-old Luke discovers he can see things others can't. Ghostly things. He befriends a ghost girl called Alma who can ride clouds through the night sky and bend their shape to her will. With Alma's help, Luke discovers he is in fact a rare being, half human and half something else. Then Luke learns the terrible truth of why children are being kidnapped and forced to work in the power station, and he becomes even more desperate to escape. Can Luke find out who he is while trying to find freedom? And my foot's asleep. Just such a unique story, and I loved all these characters, and it's just like a race against the clock suspense, and it was just so good. Then The Plentiful Darkness by Heather Kastner. Loved everything I've read by her, and this was no exception. In order to survive on her own, 12-year-old Rooney de Barra collects precious moonlight, which she draws from the evening sky with her very rare and most magical lunar mirror. All the while, she tries to avoid the rival roughhouse boys and another more terrifying danger, the dark-hearted magician who's been disappearing children in the night. When Trick Aiden, the worst of the roughhouse boys, steals her mirror, Rooney will do whatever it takes to get it back, even if that means leaping into a pool of darkness after it swallows Trick in her mirror, or braving the plentiful darkness of a witching world devoid of sky and stars, or begrudgingly teaming up with Trick to confront the magician and unravel the magic that has trapped Wayborn's children. This is such a unique story, dark, and so many twists, and I just really ate this up. This was just phenomenal. And The Peculiar Haunting of Thelma B. by Aaron Petty. And I think the sequel is either out, just come out, or it'll be out soon. Thelma B has adventure in her blood, but this budding scientist gets more than she bargains for when a ghost kidnaps her father. And in the eccentric town of Riverfish, Massachusetts, nothing is as it seems. With the help of some local ghost hunters, Thelma must follow clues, face paranormal foes, and unlock an ancient secret to rescue her dad. But she needs to work quickly. There's someone wielding dark magic, and he's coming after her next. Another unique, ghostly, spooky story. The way they capture her dad, and everything that is involved with that, and the backstory, and these ghost hunters, and her friend. I just love this. I can't wait to read that sequel. Explorer's Code by Allison K. Hymas. Idlewood Manor, a grand estate in the Shenandoah Valley, has been held onto in its mysteries for nearly a century. Now 3 kids have only a single weekend to uncover them. Math whiz Charlie is immediately intrigued by strange numbers he finds on Idlewood's walls. Anna, his restless sister, discovers a hidden passage inside the mansion, and Emily is on a secret mission with her parents to uncover the house's scandalous history. The 3 sue and unlock clues about a famous explorer who's somehow connected to Idlewood's past. But the adults around them are hiding secrets of their own, secrets that could doom Idlewood to ruin. Charlie, Anna, and Emily will have to work as a team to discover the mansion's many puzzles before it's too late. So with this manor, it's very atmospheric, and the hidden rooms they find, and the numbers, and all these puzzles and riddles are to solve, and then the backstory of the manor, the explorer, and even the backstory of the guest this weekend, and then the kids. It's just phenomenal. I just love this so much. And an actual Halloween book, The Halloween Moon by Joseph Fink. Esther Gold loves Halloween more than anything in the world, so she is determined to go trick-or-treating again this year, even if her parents think she is officially too old. Esther has it all planned out, from her costume to her candy collecting strategy. But when the night rolls around, something feels off. No one is answering their door. The moon is an unnatural shade of orange. Strange children roam the streets wearing creepy costumes that might not be costumes at all. And it seems like the only people besides Esther that are awake to see it are her best friend, her school bully, and her grown-up next-door neighbor. Together, this unlikely crew must find a way to lift the curse that has been placed upon their small town before it's too late. Because someone is out to make sure Halloween never comes to an end, and even Esther doesn't want to be trapped in this night forever. It's like such a unique take, because you know how we love Halloween, spooky season, we always wish it could be, but anything will get old. If it was Halloween all the time, it wouldn't be special. It's special because it comes, and you celebrate, and then you have to wait for it again. If you didn't have to wait and it was just always Halloween, it wouldn't really be special. Her adult neighbor, the adult in the story has my heart. I think he's a dentist, but the way he is and the stuff he can do, and they're just like, and it's so opposite of how he normally is. He's like, I think he says something like, I didn't always used to be a dentist, And then you find out his story. It's just so good. I just love this, just the whole concept. Source books, it sent me the duology, The Nightmare Thief by Nicole Sparents, and then the second book was The Dream Spies. Marion Partridge loves working in her family's dream shop, where she can handcraft any dream imaginable. Dragonfly wings and tree pollen for flying dreams, goose down and nutmeg for calming dreams, cemetery dirt and spider eggs for nightmares, all with a dash of her family's dream magic. The shop has only one rule: dreams cannot be given to a person without their consent. Marion has no problems with this, until her sister Haley has an accident that leaves her in a coma. Marion's certain she can cure Haley with a few well-chosen dreams, and when no one is watching, she slips her a flying dream. But a terrifying new customer from the shop has been following Marin and knows what she did. Now the stranger has laid the perfect trap to blackmail Marin into creating custom nightmares for a dark and terrible purpose. As Marin gets drawn further into the sinister scheme, she must make a choice to protect her family or to protect the town from her family's magic. This was so creepy. I love books about dreams, apparently. And just the whole idea of being able to create dreams and the power behind that, too. And I would not want to buy nightmares, but apparently there's people that are. And the second book is Left Inside, like at a dream camp. And they're just really great books. And then The Haunting of Aveline Jones and The Bewitching of Aveline Jones by Phil Hicks. And the third book comes out next month, I think. And the first one's more ghosty and the second one's more witchy. But both are phenomenal. Evelyn loves reading ghost stories, so a dreary half-term becomes much more exciting when she discovers a spooky old book. Not only are the stories spine-tingling, but it belongs to a girl called Primrose Penberthy, who vanished mysteriously, never to be seen again. Intrigued, Evelyn decides to investigate Primrose's disappearance with some help from her new friend Harold. Now someone or something is stirring, and it's looking for Evelyn. Her new friend Harold, this bookstore, this whole town, the house she's staying at with her aunt, I think, and the whole ghost backstory, the town backstory, I think the scarecrows they put up or something they put up, just everything. It's very creepy. It's a lot creepier than you would think. Well, you know. And 2 books by Ali Malaninko, Ghost Girl. Z. Puckett loves ghost stories. She just never expected to be living one. It all starts with a dark and stormy night. When the sky's clear, everything is different. People are missing. There's a creepy new principal who seems to know everyone's darkest dreams, and Z is seeing frightening things. Large, scary dogs that talk, and maybe even a ghost. When she tells her classmates, only her best friend Elijah believes her. Worse, mean girl Nellie gives Z a cruel nickname, Ghost Girl. But whatever the storm washed up isn't going away. Everyone's most selfish wishes start coming true in creepy ways. All 3 of them, Z, Elijah, and Nellie, will have to work together if they're going to give their ghost story a happy ending. So it's just a great story. It's spooky and about loving yourself, friendship, doing the right thing. Family in here is the stories with each character. They each have a... this is just really good. It's spooky, and this town, the principal, I just loved it. So I was so happy when HarperCollins sent me her newest middle grade that just came out recently, This Appearing House. And I recently talked about this, so I won't read the synopsis and go too far into detail. You can go to my review, or recent reads video that shows it. But this whole house, everything about this house is creepy, and the lessons in here, what our mind will do to us, what fear can do to us, and dealing with sickness or someone you love that's been sick, and she just weaves such important things in with the creepy, and she's got a real talent for it, and I just love her books. And then I had read The Box of Bones, I think it was called, by Maria Cohen. That was in my last spooky video last year, and I loved it. It was really dark for middle grade, and so I had bought 2 of her other older books, and then she had a newer book coming out this year, so before that came, I read that one. I wanted to read her 2 oldest ones, so I have 3 books by Marina Cohen here. So I love The Box of Bones. And then I read The In-Between. Quinn Martin and Kara Costin have been friends since kindergarten, so when Kara and her family are about to move away, Quinn joins the Costins on one last trip west to Nevada. They stop at the first hotel they see, an old Victorian that instantly gives Quinn the creeps. She begins to notice disturbing things happening around them, and soon Kara's parents and brother mysteriously disappear. The girls are left alone to navigate strange quests, hallways that twist back on themselves, and particularly a nasty surprise lurking beneath the floorboards. Will the girls be able to solve the mystery of what happened to Kara's family and escape, where they remain stranded forever at the in-between? Everything about this, it's so incredible, like a mind-blowing. And then in the different font chapters, that's like before the main character's sister disappeared. And read my reviews because they go more in depth, but the way everything about this in between her friends, her sister, and what happened, and everything that comes is revealed, and then the parents and brother missing. The ending just blew my mind. Like, I never saw that coming. And the way it ended was so well done. And you don't see a lot of child abduction in middle grade. It's not on the page. It's just when it goes back in the past to when her sister was still there and then she goes missing. They found her backpack and that was it. So they know someone took her. So that's all it really does. But I think it was handled in a very appropriate way for middle grade in my opinion. But this was just phenomenal. I love this so much. I think even better than The Box of Bones. And The Doll's Eye. So, again, dolls are creepy. All Hallie wants is for everything to go back the way it used to be. Back when she didn't have to share her mother with her stepfather and stepbrother. Back when she wasn't forced to live in a musty, decomposing house. Back when she had a life in the city with her friends. As Hallie whiles away what's left of her summer, exploring the nearby woods and splitting her time between her strange, bug-obsessed neighbor Gabe and the nice old lady who lives above the garage, she begins to notice the house isn't just dark and creaky. It's full of secrets, like the appearance of a mysterious dollhouse and its family of perfect dolls. Oh, how Hadley wishes her family were more like those lovely dolls. Then one day she discovers a lone glass eye rolling around on the floor of the attic. As she holds it close one night, her whole world changes forever. This whole book was phenomenal. The ending, I love it, and I understand why it was done that way. So if you can understand it and appreciate it for that alone and be fine with that, you'll love it. But if you're like me and it was frustrating and you wanted it to have like an ending of sorts, I don't know how to explain it, but it was still an amazing book. Like, I love this, and I just was frustrated a little bit by the ending. But other than that, it's just, oh, creepy, great time. Her newest release, Shadow Grave. It hasn't been that long since I've talked about this one, so I'm not going to read the synopsis, but this whole town, and they're in the note saying what inspired the story and the real life ghost town that she got based this on, which made me go look up that ghost town, and it's just phenomenal. And then every detail of this town they come upon, everything interwoven with like the family stuff going on, the backstory of this town, the people that live there, the characters, the whole mystery, so atmospheric, so creepy. She's just such a great, creepy middle grade author. And then these were in my last video, but I've since read, I don't know if I'd read the third one before that last video or not, but I just read the fourth one. But the Ghost Hunter series by Susan McCauley. This is the first book. Bones in the Wall. And Pirate's Curse. Spirit Fire. And then Swamp Witch. The fourth is the last for now. She might revisit it in the future, but she says the last for now. And these are just such a great story. Like, they're so detailed. Each book has a glossary in the back for all of these words. Like, everything that... This is such a detailed alternate world and story, and like the wards and the tattoos they have, this different levels of psychics that can see or hear ghosts, and then the OPI, and then just the electronics that like his cousin Haley has because she can't see the ghost but she still wants to help with the problem. And then Onyx and Mrs. Wilson, like all of it is so detailed and intricate and phenomenally done. Like, it's such an amazing alternate world she's created, and it's in New Orleans, which, like I've said, is amazing for spooky. Once an athlete and popular kid, Alex is in a terrible car accident that severely injures his hip and leaves him with a rare power. He can hear and see ghosts. All Alex wants is to be normal. But when a malevolent spirit begins haunting him, Alex must accept his unwanted psychic powers and work with his best friend, his paranormal investigator cousin, and two friendly spirits to solve the mystery of the bones in the wall and put the vicious ghost to rest. If he fails, he'll lose his family and friends to a gruesome fate. Friends and cousin, they make the best team. And then his mentor that he gets, and then it's just all so good. Like, these characters, I love them so much. This wasn't the last video, but I think since then I had read the third book, and so I think the series is done now. Shadow School series by J.A. White. He also wrote the Night Books, which was also the Netflix movie, and I love this series so much. The first book has an awesome naked card cover, but the other two didn't do that, so I don't know what's up with that, but the first one was really pretty. But the first book is Archimancy, I think so you say it. And then the second is De-Haunting. And then Phantoms. Cordelia, who knew Shadow School was going to be different. Black gates and ivied walls, long hallways lined with old paintings, a tower with a window that looks like an eye. Different she expected, different she could handle. Still, Cordelia can't shake the feeling that something's not right and that she's being carefully watched. The answer isn't just in front of her eyes, it's in the gym, next to the bulletin board, even in the cafeteria. The school grounds are filled with ghosts. Cordelia soon realizes she's not the only one who can see them. Her new friend Benji can too. Together with super smart Agnes, the trio is determined to find out why the ghosts are there and whether there is a way to set them free. But the school was created with more sinister intentions, and someone is willing to go to extreme lengths to ensure the ghosts remain trapped forever. This whole Shadow School, like, it's like it used to be an old mansion manor thing. It's atmospheric on its own, and then the whole backstory of everything, and then the ghosts and everything that happens. It's just so well done. And this one was in the last video, but I've read the sequel since then. I don't know if there'll be more, but I really hope so. I love this author. I think I've read all of his books now. And they're all superb. The Monsters of Rookhaven by Padraig Kinney. The Shadows of Rookhaven. Mirabelle has always known she is a monster. When the magical glamour protecting her unusual family from the human world is torn and an orphan brother and sister stumble upon Rookhaven, Mirabelle soon discovers that friendship can be found in the outside world. But the tear between the two worlds has let danger in, and as evil stalks Mirabelle and her family, it quickly becomes clear that the true monsters aren't necessarily the ones you can see. These are such beautiful stories. Like, creepy, spooky, Addams Family, but 10 times creepier and scarier parts, but so beautiful. And Piglet, he's like supposed to be like the scariest creature ever, and his chapters are in like the black, and the way he thinks and feels, he's just a monster, but he's so beautiful. Like, just read my reviews, it's just beautiful, terrifying but beautiful stories. And then 2 graphic novels, The Seance Tea Party. Growing up is terrible. No one has time to play outside or use their imagination or do anything fun. Who wants that? Not Laura. She's determined to still have fun after her friends all seem to fade away with their new interests and new friends. Magical Tea Party introduces Laura to Alexa, the girl that haunts her house. Alexa will be a kid forever, but what will happen as Laura continues to get older? This is just such a cozy fall and Halloween, and then the ghost, just cozy. Then Secrets of Camp Whatever by Chris Grine. I have the sequel. I still need to read it. It recently came out. 11-year-old Willow doesn't want to go to her dad's weird old summer camp any more than she wants her family to move to the weird old town where that camp is located. But her family and fate itself seem to have plans of their own. Soon Willow finds herself neck deep in a confounding mystery involving stolen snacks, suspected vampires, and missing campers, all shrouded in the sinister fog that hides a generation of secrets at Camp Whatever it's called. This was phenomenal. So kooky and spooky, and art's beautiful. Love that. So now I'll do the few witchy books. I bought the first 2 Witches of Brooklyn myself, and then Random House Graphics sent me the 3rd one that recently came out, Witches of Brooklyn by Sophie Escobar. I flew through these, and I very recently talked about these, so I'm not gonna read the synopsis or talk too much. But and then that's What the Hex, and then the one that just came out, Some More is Magic. These were just so good, full of family and friendship, magic, great messages. I love Lion. I love these ants so much. Effie's amazing. Love these. And then for like the fun, Witches of Peculiar, Double Twins in Trouble by Luna Graves. The author had sent me this, and she also sent me this thing with it. I have the 2nd one I need to read, and I talked about this one recently too, so I won't talk too much about it. It's just a very quick read, but very witchy. They have this school, and this town doesn't know about them, and all the different people that go to the school. Like, it's just a fun time. And these sisters. Escape to Witch City by E. Latimer. Emmeline Black has a secret. She can hear the rhythm of heartbeats, not just her own, but others too. It's something she's learned to control, and that only can mean one thing: Emma's a witch. In a world where a sentence of witchcraft comes with dire consequences, and all children who have reached the age of 13 are tested to ensure they have no witch blood, Emma must attempt to stamp out her power altogether before her own test comes. But a chance discovery leads her to suspect that she's not the only one in the family with secrets. Her radically anti-witch aunt and mother are hiding something, or someone, and they'll stop at nothing to prevent Emma from finding out, even if it costs Emma her life. This was such a witchy, dark story, and I think this is one where they spent too long in this in-between type world, and I was just ready for them to get out of there, and once they did, it was so... I just wish they had spent less time there, but this overall was fantastic. It's another one I read not too long ago, so I won't read the synopsis, but Maggie McCormick and the Witch's Wheel by Kaja Blackley. This was so dark, upper middle grade, very witchy, full of nature. There is an animal death, like a companion animal type death, and type of animal, and then like a smaller. So there's a lot of suffering kind of hint. If there's gonna be animal deaths in the next one, I don't know if I can, but companion type animal that died was like at the end, so I'd already. So I was pretty invested in that. It kind of got to me, but this was such a dark, intricate, amazing world, and I just loved all the details. I just wish it wasn't so sad with the animals. And then Cinder and Sparrows by Stefan Botman. When a scarecrow climbs over the garden while delivering 12-year-old orphan Zeta Bridgeborn a letter saying she has inherited a distant castle, she jumps at the chance of adventure. But little does she know that she is about to be thrust into a centuries-old battle between good and evil. Blackbird Castle was once home to a powerful dynasty of witches, all of them now dead under mysterious circumstances. All but Zeta. And Zeta unfortunately doesn't know the first thing about being a witch. As she begins her lessons in charms and spells with her guardian, Mrs. Cantanker, Zita makes new allies: a crow, a talking mongrel head, 2 castle servants just her age named Bran and Minifer, and the silent ghost of a green-eyed girl. But who was friend and who was foe? Zita must race to untangle her past and find the magic to save the home she's always hoped for, because whatever claimed the souls of her family is now after her. This was so eerie, dangerous, dark at times, suspenseful, great humor. Zita is such a great character. I loved her. I flew through this. I fell in love with it. Such an amazing story. And then Witchlings by Claribel A. Ortega. This is one where they had sent me an arc, and then they sent me this beautiful box. Like, it had the Witchlings on the outside, and it had the sweater in it, some candy, and then a beautiful finished copy. I was so happy. I was so excited. When I say they, I mean Scholastic. So thank you, Scholastic. I can't get over that. But this... Every year in the magical town of Ravenskill, young witchlings participate in the Black Moon ceremony, are placed into covens, and come into their powers as full-fledged witches. 12-year-old Seven Salazar can't wait to be placed in House Hyacinth with her best friend. She's worked so hard to get the best possible placement and to avoid being a spare, a leftover witch with lesser powers looked down on by everyone. But on the night of the ceremony, in front of the entire town, Seven isn't placed in a House Hyacinth or one of the 5 covens at all. She's a spare. Even worse, when Seven and the other 2 spares perform the magic circle to seal their coven, it doesn't work. They're stuck as witchlings and will lose their magical abilities for good. Seven invokes her only option, the impossible task. The 3 spares must defeat the dreaded Night Beast. If they work together and succeed, their coven will be sealed and they'll gain their full powers. If they fail, well, the last coven to make the attempt ended up being turned into toads forever. Such an amazing story. I love this so much. And 13 Witches, Book 1, The Memory Thief by Jodi Lynn Anderson. I have the sequel, and I'm going to read it soon, and I cannot wait, because this is phenomenal. And I think the 3rd book will be out in the next several months or so. 12-year-old Rosie Oak's mom is missing whatever it is that makes mothers love their daughters. All her life, Rosie has known this, and turned to stories for comfort. Then on the night, Rosie decides to throw her stories away forever, and an invisible ally helps her discover The Witch Hunter's Guide to the Universe. A book that claims that all the evil in the world stems from 13 witches who were unseen, but also unstoppable. One of these witches, the Memory Thief, holds an insidious power to steal our most precious treasures, our memories, and it is this witch who has cursed Rosie's mother. In her quest to save her mom, and with her wild, loyal friend Germ by her side, Rosie will find the layers hidden under the realities she only thought she knew, where ghosts linger as shadows of the past, where clouds witness the world and a ladder dangles from the moon leading to something bigger and more. Here, words are weapons against the darkness, and witch hunters are those brave enough to wield their imaginations in the face of the unthinkable. This is full of witches, imagination, ghosts, magic, witches, amazing characters, great lessons in here. I flew through this and absolutely loved it. I cannot wait to get to that sequel. And lastly, The Last Twin Witch by Jennifer Adam. And I have her newest release, and I cannot wait to get to that, because this is a thicker book, but I flew through this too. It was just phenomenal. In her small village of Oak Hollow, Brita has been sheltered from both tempestuous kingdom and the wicked queen's reign. Apprenticed to a hedge witch, Brita's only concern is finding a way to make her fickle magic work so she can finally prove herself as a head witch. But when she accidentally catches the attention of the queen, Brita learns that there is more to her magic than she even realized. On the run from the queen's huntsmen and her all-seeing crow spies, Brita discovers the truth about her family and who she is destined to be, and that she may be the key to defeating the wicked queen and setting the kingdom right again. The levels of magic, or types of magic, and the sister backstory, and just Brita's backstory, her family, the friends she makes along the way, the crows, everything about this. It was just so well done, and the writing is phenomenal. I love this. Alright, y'all, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Did you get any recommendations for books you didn't know about that you want to read now? Have you read any of these? Did you like them? Did you not? Let me know in the comments, and I hope you enjoyed the video. There's a craft shirt. So there's a craft here, and then I'm not even gonna try that because it didn't work last time. I'll show you a clip of the back of it. Here's the back of it. But if you'd like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.